Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out Havoc, a Horus Heresy story, The World Eaters by Avox and the Void. Yeah guys, you guys have been recommending Avox and the Void to me a ton. This specific video though was recommended to me by PapaPyth, I think that's your name. Also big shout out to you, man. I see you, first ever member on the channel, man, and I really can't thank you enough for that. That means the world to me that you're willing to, you know, support me in that way, man, and it really means a lot to me. So big shout out to you. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, Avox and the Void has been recommended a ton, and obviously we've seen some of his voice acting work in the last couple videos. He was in the last Warhammer animation we checked out, Scorch. That was yesterday there. That was great. I fucking love Scorch. That was a fantastic animation, and he was also in he was featured in that Yonkers video as well. Both those by Mosconi here on YouTube. Go check that out if you haven't heard of him. Great videos. So basically, I've heard a little bit of Avox and the Void's voice acting already, and man, I gotta say he does a fantastic job from what I've seen. So I'm really excited to see some of his own channel work, I guess. And it looks like he does a lot of 40K stuff. I don't know if 40K content is the only content he does, but man, I've been blown away by the voice acting that I've heard so far from him. So I'm assuming this is going to be great. So again, big shout out PapaPyth for recommending this video. Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe for more content from me, leave your recommendations down in the comments below. And without any further delay, boys, let's get right into this. I'm excited. I'm going to turn captions on for this video, and we're going to see how it sounds. If it's shit, I'll turn them off, but here we go. I'm excited. As always, I have some pen and paper here. Just had to make sure I had extra paper.
Coral City, Istavan 3, Istavan System 005.31.
So we briefly heard of the Istavan system. That's where I believe one of the worlds was like detonated, right? If I recall correctly, not detonated, but damn near burned in atmosphere. They let some survivors leave to the other planets and systems to attempt to make them surrender, if I recall. Yeah, we just watched that video the other day. That was really interesting. So this is why this is about the World Eaters, obviously. So this is a traitor legion, if I recall. So yeah, I'm wondering, is this going to be about all bad guys, or what is this about?
System 005.M31. Tick, tick, tick. It is not enough. Gritty white ceramite is now brightly crimsoned by my brother's blood. My gauntleted fist is hammering into Rawl's snarling face even as he drives his gladius deeper into my wounded side, rupturing lesser internal organs as he struggles to pierce my hearts. Yet, it is not enough. The nails demand more. More bloodshed. More violence. More death. There can be no end to it. Despite the immediate peril, I cannot bring myself to disengage.
I just want to say, he's getting me into it already. His voice acting's phenomenal, man. Like, wow. And this is just one voice. I'm assuming he must do all the voice acting for each character and stuff. So I'm very interested to see his different his voices. But man, this is engaging already. The music choice that he picked and his voice, man, is what you can feel his voice. You know, wow. See why you guys recommended him so much now.
Despite the immediate peril, I cannot bring myself to disengage. I am committed to slaying Rawl, even if it means dying at his hand in turn. I crouch atop the World Eater's chest like a beast poised above its prey, raining down blow after blow, oblivious to the rush of raging legionaries surging past me. Rawl's blood soils my exposed.
So he's talking about killing a World Eater
with all my strength. My helmet is gone. I cannot recall if it was torn from me or if I discarded it earlier in the fighting. My left arm has been hacked off at the elbow. I have no memory of losing it either, or the chain axe I had been wielding. No matter. It is better this way.
Wow.
Much better.
Oh.
Tick. Tick.
Wow, and he's thinking about the time. Yeah.
Die. Die, traitor! I roar as Rawl's skull begins to cave in. He gives the gladius a final desperate wrench.
Hold on, let me just
tainted.
read the description real quick here. Maybe it just says a little bit more. Isfan 3. A loyalist world eater. Oh, and the Primarch Angron have a final and fateful confrontation. Okay. So this is a loyalist world eater. Because we heard about that. So okay. That makes sense. Damn. So this is his parent legion, and he's turning on his brothers in a sense, or they're turning on him. More like they're turning on him, obviously. Okay, yeah, that adds a little bit more context to it. Sorry to stop, pause, and read there, but yeah, I just wanted to see if it mentioned anything. Damn.
Spittle sprays from my jaws as I gasp at the violation. The blade has snagged my spine. All sensation leaves my legs. The World Eater's features dissolve into a slurry of blood and pulverized bone as my gauntlet crushes his head. My groping fingers close about the pain engine digging into his brain, and I rip it free with an exultant howl of triumph.
Wow.
The action unbalances me, and I fall heavily amongst the fresh corpses strewn across the ruined plaza. Rawl's carcass joining the detritus of wanton carnage surrounding me on all sides.
Jesus.
Scores of World Eater legionaries lie still and silent, their bloodied gauntlets still gripping their broken weapons, locked together in death. The sounds of combat have faded. The battle has swept on, and I have been left behind. Nothing but garbled static hisses from the vox bead in my ear. Unit cohesion has broken down entirely. I do not know
Sounds
if
about right.
Captain Erlin still lives. I do not know what has befallen the warriors of my squad. I know only one thing for...
So it's not just him. So this is like him and I guess his entire squad ended up being loyalist in a sense, or at least a good portion of them ended up being loyalist. But I think we heard about that briefly, not briefly, even in the Emperor Part 2 video, where these essentially loyalists within the traders were rooted out, and there was a mass, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? A mass killing, let's just say, is the simplest term, of these loyalists as they rose up and realized what was happening. I think this is really interesting. We're getting some more context into that, even a specific story about that. This is really interesting. And Angron, obviously, is the Primarch of the World Eaters, if I recall. Didn't he become... Yeah, because he's one of the demon Primarchs, right? Like, isn't he fucking, like, super scary now, if I recall? Damn.
I do not know if Captain Erlin still lives. I do not know what has befallen the warriors of my squad. I know only one thing for certain. Now, one terrible truth that has arisen to eclipse all others, drowning all our endeavors and sacrifices in darkness. We have been betrayed. Tick. Tick.
Dick.
A deep, intimate agony such as no other weapon can inflict upon my flesh pulses through the defiled meat of my mind as the nails punish me for ceasing to kill. It cannot be helped. There is nothing here left to slay. A pathetic mule of pain inadvertently escapes my lips, and my breathing grows strained as I strive to remain coherent. With the pain ravaging my brain.
I think I recall what he's talking about. Don't the World Eaters... He's talking about nails in his brain. He means that literally, doesn't he? They don't they have, like, straight up, like, pain in... Not inhibitors, but enhancers or whatever the fuck in their head? And it basically just drives it so, like, if they're not actively killing, they're just in fucking wretched pain so that they're the best that they can be, kind of thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mixing that up with something else, but pretty sure I heard something about that. I think that's what he's referring to.
Coherent, with the nails ravaging my brain and combat stim still burning in my veins, it is a struggle merely to maintain a grip on my sanity. My hand trembles as I pull Rawl's gladius from my side. Fresh blood washes over the gore-stained blade. Multiple organs have been pierced. From the waist down, I feel nothing. I cannot walk. I cannot rejoin my brothers in punishing the traitors. The traitors. We have been betrayed, deceived, cast off and sent down to Istvan III to die. Now those of us who survived the Life Eater virus bombardment shall fall to the axes and guns of those they once called brother.
Interesting. So this is after this is after the World Eater virus that they fucking deployed. So that's that. Yeah, I recall that. Yeah, so that's what they used on that planet, and there was basically no survivors. So this is after that. He's one of the surviving loyalists. Damn. Okay. I like how we're learning a little bit more, and it's interesting. We just watched the Emperor Part 2. Go check that out if you haven't. The Emperor Man Part 2, because it gave us little snippets of each of like of this confrontation exactly, and now we're going in depth in it. I think that's really cool. So yeah, man. Again, big shout out. That was a great recommendation after that video. After seeing that, now getting a little bit more into detail about this, I think that's awesome. Isfan obviously was a fucking bloodbath, clearly.
On the field of battle. I
Yeah.
have taken the lives of brother space marines I had once fought alongside. Why? Why? Angron, Fulgrim, Mortarion, and the War Master himself. 4 Primarchs. 4 of the Emperor's own progeny united in conspiracy and rebellion. Their hands now dripping with the blood of their own gene sons.
Damn.
What madness has befallen them? What has caused them to forsake their vows and sanction the slaughter of their own legionaries? Why have we been condemned to such a death? Why has our father lifted up his hand against us? I am betrayed! I bellow aloud.
The voice acting.
Giving voice to the
Damn.
overwhelming turmoil of my hearts.
Again, just want to say it. He's doing an awesome job on that voice acting, man. This sounds fantastic. Like, I am betrayed. Man, he's fucking giving it, and I like that. Fuck.
Giving voice to the overwhelming turmoil of my hearts. Betrayed unto death.
Nice.
Father, devourer of worlds, red butcher.
Wow.
Can you hear me, Father? Do you know what you have done? The dead city is indifferent to
Fantastic.
my burst. Froth bubbles between my clenched teeth as the nails continue their unrelenting torment. I embrace the pain and cease crying out like a lost child. I lie quietly amongst my slain brethren, waiting, bloodied by fratricide. A traitor's weapon clenched tight in my fist. Others shall come soon enough. Someone will find me. I lower my head and steady my breathing. Perhaps Angron himself will come. I do not want to die in ignorance. I must hear the truth from my gene sire's own lips before the end. I must know why. What is it like to stand in the presence of your Primarch? I once asked of Captain Dersius of the Ultramarines 83rd Company during a brief layover at the Ender starport, following the Avogarden cleansings. He had frowned at the question, in contemplation rather than anger, before answering proudly. It is like standing before the concentrated essence of every battle king to ever rule Macragge, distilled in the mind,
and then changes that voice. That's great.
Singular being, unknowing,
nice,
without question and beyond all doubt, that for as long as he exists, the ideal of the Imperium will never fail.
Wow. So, I just want to say, I like how he changes his voice. It's distinctly different enough, but it still sounds like a Space Marine would. Obviously not as a World Eater would, but it still sounds like a Space Marine, but it sounds distinctly different, you know? Man, he does a really great job on this. Fuck. I'm shocked I haven't listened to him sooner, you know, but I'm really glad I waited at least on this World Eater one because we have that context of Istvan already. So this is really interesting. We're learning more about like some events that happened on the planet, especially after after it was annihilated in a sense, and this is like the remnants.
Veras. Brother Sergeant Veras.
Oh.
The vox beat crackles to life in my ear. Awareness returns in an instant. My eyes snap open. I do not remember closing them. Mere minutes have passed. I raise my head, teeth bared, my heart's quickening to combat readiness in the span of a second. 3 World Eater legionaries are moving wearily, almost furtively, amongst the bodies of their slain genekin, hunting for targets. I recognized them at once. As battle-mauled as they are, my remaining squad brothers have returned for me, though they, too, are far from unscathed. Isadir's right arm hangs uselessly at his side, armor, bone, and muscle alike savaged by bolter fire.
Jesus.
Grax is helmless.
And I like
his face.
I like how we're getting detail about the battle damage too, because obviously you can only show much. So you can only show so much in animations, right? If you're putting it on YouTube, obviously, right? But it shows just how fucking visceral, describes how visceral it would look and how it would be. Like, this dude is fucked up, and then he's looking at his buddy. His arm is dangling there, bone exposed, mangled. Man, I like the detail that he goes in on that. You know. Sick to say, but it's interesting because you don't really get to see that, you know.
By bolter fire. Grax is helmless, half of his face reduced to a raw, weeping mess of scorched flesh, likely from the discharge of a plasma gun. Frakal, my second in command, moves with a noticeable hitch in his stride. He is walking on a broken leg, but refuses to allow the injury to impede him. The white and blue of their war plate is obscured by blood, yet they remain resolute and unbowed. My heart swell with pride as they approach me. A pity my own wounds are so severe. We will not stay together for long. Brothers.
Damn.
Report. I snarl raggedly as I use Rule's Gladius to prop myself up against his lifeless corpse.
The situation is dire, Sergeant Veras.
Frakal growls, his rough voice tight with suppressed pain, his fury masked behind his dented, gore-spattered helm.
Captain Erlen is dead. The traitors ripped off his face and quartered his body with their blades while he yet drew breath.
Damn.
Angron intends to purge us in person. He and our turncoat brothers hunt us with axe and bolter throughout the city. And heavy armor is being deployed even as we speak. They will not stop until we are slaughtered to the last man. According to Vox rumor, a captain of the Emperor's children, Sol Tarvitz, is attempting to establish a center of organized resistance alongside surviving loyal sons of Horus and Death Guard legionaries. What are your orders?
So that's literally just an on-the-spot, like, break. Wow, that's super interesting to hear, because it's like, these are just like loyalists from these legions organizing resistance on this planet, like, you know what I mean? But on a large-ish scale. Obviously it doesn't compare to the large scale that Angron's forces are deploying on, like obviously the traitor legions are being deployed on, but it's interesting to see that there's in each legion that there was enough to actually mount a resistance of some sort, you know? Like enough loyalists, I should say. I think that's really interesting.
So, one of Fulgrim's preening peacocks is trying to run this shitfest now, is he?
Wow.
How typical. That's quite possibly the best news I've heard all day. I grin a rictus grin, saliva still dribbling from my lips as I fight to maintain control of myself. As far as the
might hate him, but at least he's glad that something's being done.
For me to tear Frakal's head from his shoulders and beat him to death with it.
Oh, maybe not.
I am sure he feels similarly compelled.
Oh, maybe not.
Seek out this loyal whelp of the Phoenician brothers and lend him your strength.
Okay.
Should you encounter other survivors.
So it's mutual hatred for each other, but he is, at the end of the day, proud that something's being done. So that's good.
Should you encounter other survivors, compel them to accompany you. Failing that, kill as many of the traitorous whore sons as you can before you die. I will not be able to. The distant clamor of power-armored footfalls brings an end to all plans. Seconds later, the cheering of our foes reaches our ears. A host of our treasonous brethren are bellowing out a single name over and over as they hack and hew their way towards our position.
Angron.
Bolters bark. Whirring chain blades shriek. World eaters roar and rage as they clash and die. The cheering swells. The traitors are glorying in their orders, reveling in the butchery of their brothers.
Yeah.
Striving slavishly to win the begrudging regard of the Primarch. Rage boils up within me. A rage so incandescent it threatens to submerge my reasoning in the intensity of its purity.
Wow. Angron. Yeah.
Father is coming.
Grax rasps, apropos of nothing. He revs his bloody chain axe, an eager snarl contorting his burned features. Something passes privately between Frakau and Isadir over the Vox, and before I can issue new orders, the two World Eaters stoop and pull me upright, causing my mangled organs to shift unnaturally within me.
Oh.
Leave me, you craven yellow-bellied curs!
I howl furiously as they half carry, half drag my crippled body from the plaza and towards a partly demolished courthouse.
I'll not cower or hide from the Primarch's axes like a skulking son of Korax. Angron must answer for this. Stop whining, you damn stubborn old warhound.
Isadir grates out as the two legionaries haul me into the building's wrecked interior, their boots crunching over cracked marble tiles and shattered glass.
We're too few and too exposed. In here we can prolong the engagement and kill more of the bastards. Better
That's
that
true.
than being gunned down like chaff out in the open.
Ignoring my curses, they manhandle me up 2 flights of stone steps before dumping me like an unwanted burden on the second landing. Rules Gladius slips from my hand as I convulse and cough up blood. Gasping like an old man, I dig my armored fingers into the polished basalt wall to keep from sliding sideways. A grey mist steals across my vision, and I recall. What is it like to stand in the presence of your Primarch? I once asked of Stormseer Uragulsi of the Brotherhood of the Painted Stallion, after a White Scars strike force had broken through the Physixi blockade, enabling our ground forces to take...
So he's been asking different Space Marines from different legions what it's like to stand in the presence of their Primarch. So I'm guessing he either hasn't had the chance to do it, or he's just, you know, he wants to do it as he is now, as Angron is now, which is also understandable. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that, because I would have assumed he would have at least been in his presence at some point, but maybe not. But maybe, again, he just means he wants to be in his presence after the change. He doesn't even think that he's the same Primarch, in a sense, you know? And I could totally see how his reasoning for that stands.
Stormseer Uragulsi of the Brotherhood of the Painted Stallion, after a White Scars strike force had broken through the Physixi blockade, enabling our ground forces to take the Xenos primary nest spire. The question had surprised him, yet he had responded truthfully after a span of careful consideration. It is like standing before the wind personified. A tireless wind that sweeps us across the furthest voids, ever guiding our blades as we ride in conquest of this frontier of stars that knows no end.
Damn. He delivers those lines so hard, man.
Tick. Tick. I open my eyes again and see that my warriors have not been idle. Weapons stripped from the corpses of fallen World Eaters have been arrayed neatly by my side as if offered in tribute. 3 fully loaded bolt guns and a functional chainsword are within easy reach of my remaining hand. A bandolier of frack grenades has been looped over my left pauldron, and someone, likely Frakau, has secured Rules Gladius to my wrist with a length of scavenged cabling.
Wow.
Relief washes over me.
So they didn't
As
just leave him
broken
out to
as
dry.
I will still be able to go down fighting like a true legionary.
Wow, they at least did them that honor. It's not like they just dumped him and gave him no weapons. They gave him enough armaments to at least take down a few before they get him, obviously. At least have the capacity to take down a few. Obviously, bolt guns can rip up Space Marines pretty easy from how I understand it. So, yeah, you know, and I don't think he can't walk, right? He said he can't feel below his waist, so damn, you know.
And as I am, I will still be able to go down fighting like a true legionary. My thanks, brothers.
Yeah.
I growl into the Vox transmitter embedded in my gorget as I begin gathering the grenades, priming each one to detonate on impact. I will bleed many traitors and avenge our murdered brethren before death claims me. Do not be found wanting. Die well, my proud eaters of worlds. Ave Imperator.
We'll try to leave a few for you, Veras, but I'll make no promises.
Even
Damn.
over the distorting effects of the Vox, I can still detect the ferocious joy in Frakau's voice as he prepares to lose himself to the Nail's embrace.
Someone needs to teach these wayward mongrels a lesson in loyalty.
Oh,
I am going to enjoy this.
that's awesome.
As well you should.
Wow.
The old legends say the deepest pits of hell are reserved for oathbreakers and kinslayers. Kill them all, Frakau. Kill Angron himself if he dares to come.
I shall.
He cuts the link, and I know I will never speak with him again.
Yeah.
The traitor world eaters
That's
are not
rough.
long in arriving. There are no windows near me that overlook the plaza, but even through the thick walls I can hear their cheering reaching a crescendo, and no individual kill squads are spreading out to hunt for dug-in defenders. The seconds drag themselves by with infuriating slowness.
Wow.
I cough up more blood and wonder if I will live long enough to fulfill my vows. Then bolt of fire rings out from somewhere below, and I grin in satisfaction as my men make their righteous fury known.
That's
Brothers
awesome.
Isadir, Grax, and Frakau, all worthy sons of the 12th Legion, all faithful and true to the master of mankind, fight their final battle with all the ferocity of demons out of ancient Terran myth, and die
Wow.
like dogs in the face of their brethren's overwhelming assault.
Yeah.
Belligerent oaths and defiant war cries swiftly give way to grunts of pain and howls of frustration as wounds take their toll and the attacking world eaters press their advantage. No mercy is expected and none is given. I am witness to none of their deaths. Instead, I scent the air and listen as they are overcome and butchered in quick succession.
Damn.
Frakal is the last to fall, spitting vile insults upon the heads of Angron, Horus, and the mothers of each and every space marine who has dared rebel
Oh,
against
wow.
the Emperor. The traitors fall upon him like starving wolves, and he screams like a mortal as his limbs are severed and his intestines are torn from his body. Even as his death cries are cut short, a multitude of pounding footsteps echo up the stairway, driven into a killing frenzy by the nails and the prolonged spilling of their brother's blood. The first two legionaries to come charging blindly around the corner die upon reaching the first landing.
Wow.
Their skulls blown open by several precision headshots.
Oh.
I keep firing even as their bodies collapse and the second pair are likewise dispatched. Their
Jesus.
corpses momentarily hindering those following after. Taking advantage of the brief opening, I drop the bolt gun and toss a few grenades. The
So
ensuing detonation.
I just want to say too, obviously this is looking a lot like a last stand. I don't think he's getting out of it. None of his boys got out of it. He's definitely not getting out of it. There's no way. So this is very much a last stand. And I'm sure he's going to confront Angron at some point and ask that question. And I'm very curious to see what has to be said, you know?
Their corpses momentarily hindering those following after. Taking advantage of the brief opening, I drop the bolt gun and toss a few grenades. The ensuing detonations mutilate the foremost world eaters beyond recovery, causing
Damn.
the enraged legionaries below to bay and curse, promising me a slow and ignoble death. I laugh at their threats, salivating as the stench of my slaughtered foes washes over me like balmy sea breeze. It will not be long until I am as crazed as they are, but I must not succumb to the kill madness. Not yet. Come, you worthless, shit-eating sons of swine! Face me, faithless blackguards! I roar as I raise a second bolt gun and ready myself for the next assault. I will slay every single one of you, and when I return to Terra to inform the Emperor of your perfidy,
Jesus.
I will heap your skulls in a glorious before the golden throne.
God, do you hear that propaganda? Not to cut him off, that's fucking awesome. Even as he's fucking sitting there wounded, pointing his one bolt with one arm. I will return to Terra and I will fucking pour your skulls out before the Emperor is what he's insulting them with. Holy shit, you know, this guy. That's fucking awesome, you know? Oh
Every
my
single
god.
one of you. And when I return to Terra to inform the Emperor of your perfidy, I will heap your skulls in a glorious mound before the golden
What a great
throne.
job he does.
And I
Fox in the
will
Void,
personally
man.
present your skull to the War Master on a spike.
One of the
Oh,
Centurion's vows as the legionaries begin advancing again at a slower,
goddamn.
more controlled pace. I suddenly find myself keenly missing my lost arm. I would have preferred dying with Blood Splitter, my trusted chain axe held fast in my grip for a final time.
No. Stand down. He is mine.
At Angrons' command, an immediate
Oh.
hush descends. The World Eaters fall back.
So Angron
leaving
is
the
literally
first
there.
landing uncontested and their dead lying where they have fallen. I sag limply against the wall, clutching desperately to the bolter, microspasms racking my flesh as the nails exact their revenge for having been denied once again. Blood is now running freely from my nose and mouth. Awareness wavers. Consciousness ebbs. So consuming is the nerve-shredding torment that when the whole stairway suddenly shudders beneath the weight of a demigod's tread, I do not
Jesus.
respond as a true world eater should. Instead, I close my eyes, seeking a momentary shred of respite, and I remember. What is it like to stand in the presence of your Primarch? I once asked a veteran Sergeant Afriayam in the aftermath of the Blood Angels and World Eaters joint compliance of Basque. He had smiled at my question, his noble face alight with devotion. It is like standing before a blazing sun, whose rays forever pierce the darkness, a sun about which we eternally circle, our orbits never to be broken, a sun that will never set, a light that can never be extinguished. Then he had glanced at me sidelong, his blue eyes thoughtful. Why do you wish to know? Is it not the same for you whenever you enter into the presence of the Lord of the Red Sands?
Damn.
Veras.
My father speaks my name and I open my eyes for the last time. The Lord of the 12th Legion stands below me, gazing upward, and although I hold the high ground, it seems as if he is towering over me like a colossus, looking down upon me, judging me, regarding me in the same manner a huntsman might regard a badly injured hound that is no longer fit to feed. Chains rattle against the peerless Martian-forged plates of his brazen gold and crimson power armor. His twin artificer chain axes, Gore Father and Gore Child, have been powered down. The Primarch holds them crossed close to his chestplate, the weapons no less threatening despite the passive stance. It seems impossible that the stairway should accommodate his mighty bulk, yet he stands easy within the enclosed space, seemingly untroubled by its basalt confines.
Wow.
Veras, I have come. You have something you wish to tell me.
I blink my bloody eyes, my vision now hazed with arterial red, my breathing harsh and labored as death drags its talons through my ruptured innards. My brief moment of weakness in the plaza had not gone unnoticed. My challenge has been answered, but Angron has not come in response to a son's agonized cries of anguish and rage. My gene sire is not here to give succor or console. The bright transhuman blood of my fallen brothers drenches him from head to foot. The teeth of his axes are clotted with the gen-hanced gore of his own legionaries.
Yeah.
He has come to kill me for my loyalty and for my weakness, and that is all. Perhaps I should be honored. Perhaps I should consider it a privilege to be granted such a death. But I feel nothing but rage, pure and incandescent. I am now the scion of a legion of oath-breakers and murderers. Honor is dead.
That's true.
Now there can be only vengeance.
He's got nothing left to lose, technically.
Tick. Tick. Tick.
I let the bolt gun speak for me. In the half-second it takes for me to lift the weapon and fire the first shot, Angron dips his head and raises Gore Father to shield his exposed face. The bolt rounds strike the flat of the uplifted chain axe, but instead of detonating, the shots inexplicably ricochet from Gorefather's surface to explode harmlessly against the walls and ceiling, showering powdered stone across the Primarch's pauldrons. Angron begins to mount the stairs, the servo joints of his ornate warplate grinding and growling as he ascends unperturbed into a stream of bolter fire. The magazine clicks empty. I cast the gun aside and grab for the remaining grenades. Like a striking whip, Gorechild lashes out, still deactivated, and 4 of my ceramite-clad fingers join the spent shell casings littering the steps.
Damn.
Why? I snarl thickly through the pain and the blood, all of my fury and despair surging up to force the question into being. Father, why have you turned against?
No.
Oh.
The Primarch growls as he lowers Gorefather, his lips lifting in scorn to expose his dark metal teeth, his bloodshot eyes narrowing in contempt. A single swift blow to the chest and I am hurled backwards, the air driven clean from my birth lungs, my breastplate riven asunder, my carapace crushed.
No, Veras. Too many have already squandered their last moments asking me that wretched question.
Damn.
I'm tired of explaining myself.
He bends over me, the full force.
It's not even going to give him an explanation.
Impossible to endure.
Instead, I will ask the questions. Tell me, Veras, why did you not resist when I gave the order to have the butcher's nails introduced throughout the Legion? Why did you volunteer instead to have your brain cut open and the nails implanted?
I can barely comprehend the question. My thoughts are fracturing. My jaws gape as I struggle to draw in a single soaring breath. Death snaps eagerly at my throat, mere heartbeats away. You are my Primarch, I gasp. My progenitor, my liege and my general. How could I have gone against your will? I thought the nails would bring me closer to you. You are
A slave!
Angron bellows, his rage rising, his tortured face a perfect reflection of my own.
I am a slave, Veras, and I was so close to dying free. Free, and fighting alongside my true brothers and sisters against the tyrannical High Riders of Nuceria. That would have been a fitting end. But then the Emperor spirited me away, forcing me to leave my comrades in arms behind, to be slaughtered, forsaken and unmourned.
Damn.
And what did I inherit from him in exchange? An entire legion of dogs.
Oh.
Obedient, groveling war hounds. Most of whom rolled right over and submitted to the implantation of the nails without resistance. A legion of cowardly curs who have the audacity to call themselves my sons.
Wow.
His pain-filled eyes ablaze with fervor. The Primarch leans in closer as if to confide a long-held secret. His breath reeks.
So he's literally talking about how he feels betrayed by the Emperor. He had to leave his home behind, inherited his Space Marine Legion, and he saw his Legion as nothing other than like a bunch of slaves like him. That's an interesting take on it, you know? That's a very, very interesting take on it, and to get him, or to hear him explain that himself, you know, damn.
As if to confide a long-held secret. His breath reeks of blood and spoiled meat.
Wow.
A true son would have stood up to his father at the prospect of such defilement. A true son would have spat in my face and damned me to hell rather than willingly surrender his freedom.
That's true.
Yet you did not.
Wow.
You are no true son of mine, Sergeant Veras. You are a thrall. A thrall to the greatest high rider this galaxy has ever known. But I will be my father's slave no longer, and neither will the world eaters. So die as the Emperor's dog, Veras. Die forsaken and unmourned, just as my gladiators died on Nuceria fighting in futility for a chance to be free. You will not be missed.
I am sinking downwards into darkness. Angron straightens, preparing to turn away. With the last of my strength, I find my courage and spit out 3 words with my final breath. 3 words I have carried deep within me ever since the day I had emerged from the surgical chambers of the Conqueror's Apothecarian after having received the nails. 3 words nurtured in bitter secrecy throughout hundreds of campaigns and thousands of battles. 3 words no space marine of the Legiones Astartes has ever said.
I don't know
to
what
the face
this
of their Primarch.
what this could be. Go to hell.
Hate you.
Oh.
And as death's jaws close about me, something flickers in the depths of Angron's eyes. Something I have always yearned to see, despite the pain and the madness and the disregard he has inflicted upon us. Something I long for even at the end, as I breathe my last in a graveyard city of broken oaths and shattered dreams. In my father's eyes, I finally see it before the darkness takes me. Approval.
Because he told him to fuck off, yeah? That's fair. Sometimes you have to be disrespectful to earn respect. Wow. That's how it ends. Wow, guys, that was awesome. And again, big shout out to you, PapaPyth, for recommending this, because goddamn, this was fantastic. And big shout out to everybody who recommended Vox in the Void. Again, I saw him featured in the last 2 videos we've looked at, and I was not disappointed with that at all. Fantastic voice acting. He did a phenomenal job on that. The story, too. I'm assuming this is from an official story, but I could be wrong. I know it says, like, unofficial audio, I think, right there, right? Unofficial Warhammer 30k audio, so I'm assuming that's like his voice is where the unofficial comes from. But it's got to be from a story. Maybe the story is just called Cry Havoc, and that's just literally what it's called. I'm not too sure. Somebody let me know the specifics of that, but I thought that was fantastic, and I really loved like the extra little bit of lore we got there on the aftermath of Ispan, because man, obviously it sounded like a mess in that Emperor of Man Part 2 video. It sounded like a complete mess, but to actually get a visualization of the final moments on that planet, wow. I thought that was phenomenal. And wow. Gave me a lot to think about, and I definitely want to check out more of Vox in the Void's videos now, because holy shit, he's got me interested, and you guys are gonna have to let me know which ones to check out, because, you know, obviously he's got a ton of videos and, you know, a ton of different stories on his channel, so I don't want to get like too ahead of myself, if that makes sense. Like, obviously this one was perfect because it, you know, we just watched the Emperor Man Part 2. We got all that context for that, and then this was building on that context a little more, and I thought that was fantastic. Really convenient timing on that. So you guys let me know what to react to next, because like, I know I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'd love to hear more stories like this, because this is phenomenal. But yeah, guys, without any further delay, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more content from me. Let me know your recommendations down in the comments below. And without any further delay, this has been Centurion, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.